Yo guys, I'm HP and this is Mrs. Blue, and today we're gonna talk about mastering emotional minor blues guitar. What we're gonna talk about today, it will be not so much about technical stuff because it's not playing fast, but it's about knowing what you play and the perception what shall be the next note. I'll show you what I mean. I create a backing track here. That's what I mean. I didn't play so many notes, but I, in fact, was knowing what I want to gonna do, and I was having this perception. What shall be the next notes? How will they sound? It's more. Everything happens in your mind, in your musical abilities, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. And one of the most important things I can already add at the very beginning is a concept which I call live in the tone. What is live in the tone? In fact, it's not from me. It's one of my teachers told me that when I was studying music at university, I said, you need to learn to live in the tone. And back then I thought, this guy's completely nuts. Probably you also think I'm nuts, but the concept is really extremely useful. What is live in the tone? Listen to every note you play, enjoy how the frequencies evolve while you just play the one note. Listen to the one note. Also select different strings. Play the same note here. As you can hear, sounds a bit different than here. The frequencies are slightly different. And the more you pay attention to stuff like that, the more you can make the difference between what exact you want to express. And at the end, this will make the big difference. If something is really like, holy cow, what was that? Even if the guy didn't really play much, or just, yeah, sounds nice, give me another beer. You know what I mean? And I'm working on stuff like this every day, and I cannot tell how demanding it is. It is, in fact, if you really want to push it to the extreme, but at the end, that is all what matters in music. And we're going to check out what kind of notes you're going to play. And the very important thing is you need to know the chords which are played inside in minor blues, and that's what we're going to check out first. So, let me switch the sound. Let's go to the closer that I can see the chords. This minor blues I recorded for you guys are really classic minor blues. 4 bars of C minor, or in fact 3 bars. C minor 7, so classic C minor 7. Here or here, wherever you want. And then 1 bar of C altered, which leads to F minor 7 or F minor 9. So let's do a quick walkthrough. So you have 3 bars of C minor 7, C alt to F minor 9 or F minor 7, whatever you want, back to C minor 7, 2 bars. And then 1 bar of A flat 7 or A flat 13 to G7, 1 bar alt. I'm going to talk about what alt means in a second. Back to C minor 7 and end it up in G7 alt. Let's do that quickly. Now F minor 9 minor 7, A flat 7 or 13, G alt, and G7 alt. So that's the whole form. Now, of course, you can play the entire minor blues just with C minor blues scale. And I strongly recommend that you always use the opening lick, which this opening lick, because I cannot imagine a blues which doesn't open with such a lick. So you are in C minor, C minor blues scale, and we opening with the classic opening lick. Okay. And now we have a lot of time to think, what shall we play next? And I strongly recommend that you start using modes when you play these chords. Why? You don't want to sound like a jazz guitar player, but there you can really refer to the most expressional notes inside the mode of each chord, which is C minor, in fact Aeolian, and there you need to know where's the root note, where's the triad, where's the fifth, but also where's the 9. Is this one here. So, and then you go on the 9. Instead of, which would be the classic opening lick, you can do, and then you live in the tone on this 9. Of course, you can also do this. Sounds also cool, but probably this phrase is way too overused and is not so emotional as. And then you can leave a lot of space in between. And now comes the point. When the C altered comes, this builds a bridge between C minor to F minor 9. It pulls you to the next chord. And we want to show this in our soloing. So we need to adapt our soloing. And how do we do that? The easiest way to do that is to play here a diminished arpeggio, or you can take a C7 arpeggio here. You can take this C7 arpeggio and add a flat 9. This is this note here, the D flat. And sorry, if you do that properly, you don't have to play many notes, but just, and now it resolves perfectly to F minor 9. F minor 9 sounds really cool. And then on the F minor, we have the same topic again. We have the mode, which is F Dorian, but we don't need it to play the scale up and down. We need it to figure out where are the notes we want. If you want to go on the 9, which is here, which is the G, so you can make little phrases and end them up on the G, or just make a very simple phrase, end it up there, and then you live in the tone again. Okay, so let's do this first part. Then you can see how this works. Sounds way more complicated than it is, but in fact, music is not about, at least in my perception, about playing many notes. It's about playing the right notes, and that's why we're working on here, that you have a perception which are the next right notes, and you're able to live in the tone, in each tone you're playing, not only one, in any tone you play. So any tone you play has to be shaped the way you have the perception of it. That's the big thing. I didn't really play many notes, but in my soloing you could hear the chord progression as well. And I can really share a secret here. Even after playing so many years of guitar, till today it's still a challenge that I get each note I play exactly the way I have the perception of it. So this is a top or a concept which you can work on over years. It's not it's not a one-time show and then okay, I know it works. It's something which comes now continuously in your practice routine. Good. Now when we continue in the progression, we go to the A flat 13. Now, which mode is played here? There are two ways to figure this out. You can take the regular mode, which is in fact probably a mode which you never heard of it before. It's Lydian flat 7. Or you can make your life easier. You just play an A flat 7. And that's quite enough in this specific situation. This note here, the G flat, in fact, is the 7, the flat 7 of the A flat 7, and this is the main note which you should target, which is by the way the blue note of the C minor blues scale. So that's why this is such an important note, this A flat. Sorry, G flat. And then on the G7, at the beginning I said you play altered, but in fact you can just do the same. You can just play the G7 arpeggio. I'll show you how you can do this. Well, we have to walk through the whole song again. I'll take another sound now. Now comes the A flat, G flat, so you can enlarge the whole thing, just giving more intensity. You can add some blues licks in between. So just with only this concept gives you kind of a guiding line for the whole progression. And then in between you can add any blues licks which you like, of course, which you already know. They also work. Of course you can play the whole tune just with the regular blues licks, which is also cool, but probably sounds the same as 10,000 other guys. And maybe you want to make a difference, and this is a cool way to make a difference and to get master the emotional minor blues guitar. That's really a good concept, and it's more a mind game or than a technical thing. Of course you need to know tone control and the perception where you want to go. That's the important part. And from my point of view, in minor blues, the biggest mistake you can do is play too many notes. So try to reduce it to the minimum, and this concept helps you a lot to reduce to the minimum. Just target specific notes and you can fill the whole space of a tune just with these notes. I'll show you once again, maybe with another sound. This is now Mesa Boogie Mark II. Fits to Mrs. Blues preferences. works quite well. I played it a little bit different, but I was basically following those key notes. Yo guys, that was mastering the emotional mighty blues guitar. I hope this concept was useful for you guys. Even if you don't play many notes, it's way more demanding than just play the regular stuff with the blues scale. But it's way more satisfying because it opens up a whole new space of sounds and melodies which you can create, and still you will not sound too jazzy. You will still sound like a blues guy who knows what he's doing instead of, but don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Albert Collins with his minor blues Cold Feeling. And I can tell Albert Collins, let's put it the easy way, basically was playing the same 3-4 licks all over his records, but he made so many variations of them and mastered the way that he created a sound that it sounded awesome. And specifically on Cold Feeling, that minor blues, it's just pure mastery, and he's doing this just with the regular stuff, so it's not needed to do this. But if you want to go to the next step, this really can help you to get an additional expression if you want. One more to say. I'm going to write down a few things. I'm going to write down the modes. I'm going to write down a little example for you as tabs, plus produce this backing track for you guys that you can play along with this one. It is all available in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. Please join there. Please become a premium member. And please also become a premium member even if you don't want to download the stuff, just in order to support the work with me, which me and Mrs. Blue today are doing for the guitar community. And please share to the world that we exist. See you guys.